Hey heroes, Jonathan here at Night Knowledge. Today's video will go over the very first dungeon you'll be able to do in New World, called the Amrine Excavation. You'll need to be around level 25, and the leader needs to have a craftable consumable called the Amrine Tuning Orb to enter. You can have a minimum of 3 people, but unless you're over leveled, I recommend having a full team of 5. The main quest will have you enter the Amrine Excavation to find out what happened in there. There is a dog quest giver outside of the dungeon as well that'll give you a ton of experience and a house item if you complete it. And the faction representative might give you quests inside of it as well. As you can see, I'm using a spear bow build and I am with over-leveled party members. So this is a little easier than it should be, but these are all pugs, so we're barely or we're not talking, or we're not using voice comms, and we're not even typing out anything. People just know what to do. You just go out there, you just kill. It's pretty simple mechanics. So I'll show you the abilities I'm using. For the spear, I have Skewer, which does a little jump forward and applies a bleed to the enemy. The passive below it makes it do extra damage if the enemy is at full health. Then I have Perforate, which is fantastic for dungeons, because with the second passive, for enemies above 50% health, each of the 3 jabs will apply a 10% decreased armor debuff, meaning we'll be able to do 30% more damage to the target. Finally, I have Sweep with Coup de Grace, so we knock down the adds and do extra damage. But this doesn't really seem to apply on the larger, say like mini-boss targets. They don't really seem to be knocked down. For the bow, I have Poison Shot to apply an AoE dot, Rain of Arrows for an AoE, and in the future it'll apply Bleed. And finally, I have Rapid Shot to shoot 3 arrows quickly. As we make our way through the dungeon, we come across some lore, and I'll read that to you. So page 1 of Simon's Excavation, found in the Amrine Excavation, I, the great Simon Gray, will unlock all the secrets of these long-forgotten chambers. With 4 men, Nakashima, so graciously accepting my direction, the Amrine Excavation will yield marvelous results. May this mark the beginning of our journey into the depths. So you might have noticed before there was a pile of, I guess, bones and stuff that we were attacking, and that will spawn an endless amount of these lost zombie type creatures, so you want to attack as fast as possible. There are also ghosts or geists in this dungeon, and one of the things that you won't like as a ranged character is how fast they rush you. So try to let your tanks get their attention first. So in this part right here, let's see, I think we already took out the main ghost. No. So see, after you take out that last lost zombie type guy, it spawns these 2 guys, and the main target is the yellow or gold one, whereas the blue one should be significantly weaker. So right now I'm using my spear lot because by using that triple attack, I believe it's Perforate, it is reducing the armor, making everyone do more damage to it. So having at least 1 spear user in your dungeon team will make a big difference, allowing you to do up to 30% more damage. And I'm not too sure if it stacks if you have 2 spear users, whether you can get like 60 or even 90% more damage. So 1 person with an Amrine tuning staff has to, or Azoth tuning staff, has to interact with that wall or that seal right there, and it opens it up. And we go further now. There's 3 ways technically down those stairs, up the ramp, or to the right. So each one has a boss here, or a strong enemy, and you technically, especially on low, or when you have low levels in your team, you don't want to draw them all. So it's always good to look underneath the name of the enemy too, because it usually gives them some sort of buff. So right now we're going to take a look here. A lot of people would probably miss this. Okay, so we'll attack this guy, but on the other side of the railings there is water, and if you jump over, you would probably never see it unless you spend time exploring. But underneath the waterfall is an elite supply chest where you can get some loot. And that's one of the great things about the Amrine dungeon, is that you'll get anywhere between 10 to 15 greens and at least 3 to 5 blues, depending on how successful your run is or how lucky you are. One of the things I'd like to see in the future is, at least the first time that you do a dungeon, I want to be able to pick a reward, and I want there to be a reward for every single weapon type. Because for the Amrine dungeon, I believe it's a rapier, a great axe, a fire staff, and I forget what the last thing was. An amulet and a ring, but I forget what the last weapon was. And those are just random. So I kind of, okay, I think that guy aggroed the guy on the opposite end, so a lot of the team is going up. But yeah, I would like to see in the future the ability to have like, so see, as a spare bow user, except for the amulet, even the amulet and the ring, they didn't have the stats I want. I believe one has focus, one has strength, and my specific strength bow build is pure dex and a bit of constitution. It doesn't focus on strength. As you can see, this team has quite a few life staff users, so we have healing out the wazoo. Okay, so we'll take out the middle area now. You'll notice that there's that little pedestal right there with lights around it. We'll get to it, and eventually it unlocks the bridge, which is across there. Okay, so let's listen to another piece of lore from this dungeon. Breakthrough. After months of hard work and guesses, I've made a true breakthrough. That wily foreman of mine suggested we transcribe the ancient runes. They are still hot with Azoth burning on the pillar in the chamber to the east. The man can be handy with his base attention to his craft. After comparing the runes with those in the chamber to the south, which is some sort of entry or vestibule chamber, I made the brilliant leap. Has allowed us to reactivate the crossing using the... And that specific transcript actually ended right mid-sentence. So I didn't just trail off. It's just it was cut off midway. So here's something you probably shouldn't do. Like, this is some bad habits, but I saw this soul spire here, which is pretty rare. I wanted to get it, but I don't really notice people really looting like I just did. So because there's a lot of enemies to fight. But there you see me knocking down some of the lost guys, and the rest of the team is up by the respawn pile. I should probably get up there too, but I think the healer was getting attacked, so I was just trying to keep the aggro off it. So this is a bigger loss than normal. As you can see, lots of heals on the ground. Okay, that's done. And there is a seal that you need to interact with, and only one person can do it at a time. Okay. Here we go, another Geist. Very, very quick, but also dying very quickly as well. But once again, it's because almost the whole team's almost like level 30 plus, and this is supposed to be like a level 25 dungeon. You could start it, maybe if you're 23, you might have some difficulty. But because the loot is so much and so plentiful, that I'm like, the average player doing this is like level 30. It's not actually 25 or under. Okay, so there we go. Looking for some loot, but there isn't. Another Geist. Now in this room you gotta be careful. It kind of has two big enemies, that Geist on the left, and then there will be something on the right, and then in the middle, oh no, sorry, it's wrong room. So in this room, on the right hand side, I don't know if I'm going to get it right there, we have to open the door to the next place. We have to interact with that, and preferably protect this guy, which I'm not going to do a very good job. See, there's that loss that hits him and interrupts him. The good news is, if you get interrupted, it's kind of like a gathering node. You can, it continues off where you last were. Unlocking the door also allows you to open a specific chest. See, lots of heals. There we go, that guy's dead. There are, what's it called? Chasms at the corners. I don't know what happens when you jump off. I'm quite sure you probably instantly die. So here I am taking care of the ads. That's one of the things about my spear build. It's about debuffing the main boss, by the same time taking care of the ads, you know, kind of kiting them, but at the same time knocking them down, so the main DPS can maybe take out the boss or can get behind them. Look how fast that guy goes, so fast. And yeah, that guy was almost on me. And you gotta watch out for this guy. This guy should explode when he dies. So I think one of my team members wasn't watching their health good enough and might die after this. Let's see. No, they're okay. Okay, so there's another of those piles that we need to destroy. If we don't destroy that first, more of the lost will just keep spawning. As you can see, I'm using my bow a little bit more because this team is all primarily melee. I'm gonna help try to take out that pile, and then I'll help with the ads. There we go. And I was mainly using the bow to level. It's a pretty good place to increase your weapon skill or your weapon mastery. And that is one of the mechanics with New World, is that if you attack an enemy from behind, you're doing, I believe, critical damage. Excuse me. So, wait, here's a chest. Make sure you get this chest on the other side. It's very easy just to go through that next corridor, but there is a supply chest. And as you can see, tons and tons of loot. We got some gems, we got some crafting materials, potions, and some gear. That thing we just passed was a respawn point. Now we're back into that original area, and as you can see, when you step on that spot, it turns on. It unlocks. So you need to unlock the 3 spots. But when you open that one, a Geist will spawn, as you can see right there. So it does see the guy, but he's running away. Thing is, the Geist will catch up to us very quickly. Yeah, he's going to come soon. And when you unlock the one on the other side, it unlocks one of those bigger characters, like the bigger humanoid minotaur type of guys. But that guy right there. Oh, so what I was saying was that if you're a good tank, what you should do is you should either flank, like either go in a clockwise or counterclockwise circle around the main target, and if they're taunted, then they will turn and face towards you, allowing your teammates, your DPS teammates, to go clockwise or counterclockwise the opposite way that you did, so that they can flank, leaving the healers to be able to see you as a tank on the left hand side, or stay the left hand side, while the DPS on the right hand side. And so the DPS gets to do the extra damage, while the tank gets to keep the focus on them and still be in visual range of the healer, so the healer can more accurately doing it. As you can see, there is a guy over there, but there are ads on the right and left side, as you can see right there. They're hidden behind those large pillars, and that's probably done for a reason. So obviously you do want to take care of the ads first before you start engaging these guys. But because we are much higher level, once again, we aggroed everything at the same time, which is okay because no one really takes too much damage. So here we go. I'm going from behind, trying to do some extra damage. It's already the mini boss is already almost dead. There we go. Take care of the ads. Okay, and you can't forget right here. There's a toolbox which has gear in it. It does take quite a while, like I'd say about 7 seconds to loot. And you should do it when you're not fighting. Once again, that's a bad habit, but we have once again a strong enough team to not worry about that. Okay, so that gives you, as you can see, a candle, and that's actually not really loot. That's for that thing that's glowing in at the far end. So we want to take off these ads so that you fight each of these, I guess, mini bosses one at a time. There's these stronger Geist, and as you can see, because the guys are tanking more, I'll level up my bow a little bit. I don't really like the rain of arrows very much because it takes a bit of time to turn on, to shoot, to activate, and usually by that time enemies have gotten into my face or they've moved. So I should be trying, if I can, if I don't have the aggro, which I do, no, that guy does, to try to get to the back side so I can hit the guy in the back, doing more damage. But once again, we're doing lots of damage. Okay, I think he dropped something. There, he dropped a potion. Okay, so there's a chest right there and some lore. I'll see if I can find the lore, what it says in a moment. But as you can see, there's an open chest right here before we fight anything, which can be easily missed if you're just beelining. Okay, so let's see what we get in this chest. Okay, we got some more crafting materials, some potions, some, I think I saw a gem in there. And now we're going to interact with that pile right there, basically putting that candle in there, and it's going to spawn a different type of Geist, a more powerful Geist. And I haven't really figured out what are the true mechanics of it. I believe it's going to have a AoE on its body periodically, and if you stay in it, it will stun you, and it'll be shooting, I believe, projectiles like what's it called? Phantasmal projections, as you can see. So I've got a lot of the aggro, even though I'm trying to use, I'm using my spear. I'm trying to land the perforates to reduce its armor. See right there, those purple chains? You want to stay out of it, because the guys that stayed in it, they got stunned, meaning that you'll take more damage, which could be more deadly, once again, if we're lower levels. Yeah, the Geists have been created quite ingeniously. Like they're fast, and they like to teleport behind you, and they, especially if you're ranged, you basically can't fight a ghost. You better turn melee for them. It would be a more difficult fight if it spawned ads, but it's just him. But it's because this is the very first dungeon. I guess it's just teaching you, I guess, to get a full man team and to DPS, like how to DPS, maybe avoid. See, I got stunned right there. Good, because I stayed in there. But it's teaching you to get a 5-man team, teaching you to focus fire, preferably have a few heals if possible. The very first time I played this, I actually played it as a tank using a sword and shield. Oh, and as you can see, look at all the blue gear. I got 3 blue gear from that, and we still get to open up the stockpile. There we go, so quite a few greens, and I believe it gave me something bloody something, and that is used for actually crafting. by, I don't know how it's triggered, whether it's by crafting level or by going to this dungeon, but if, say you're not getting a specific dungeon, it's not set armor, but it's titled Amrine gear, and if you're not getting a specific one you want, you can actually use those resources that you earn only from this dungeon to craft, what's it called, this dungeon specific gear. One thing I did notice in New World, at least so far, from watching, more powerful players and streamers, I don't believe there's set gear in this game, which is very rare for an MMO, and something I personally like. I like set gear. Set gear usually has that nice look to it. So once again, the tank is doing a very good job, and then the rest of us can all hit him from the back, and as you can see, we're doing orange damage, which means it should be better damage. And look, he's dead in like 10 seconds. Okay. Here we go. Oh, there's a guy that came out of somewhere. I don't know where. I think it might have been like someone aggroed it in that other room, and it just flew so fast. Okay, time to use the bow a little bit more, get some more, what's it called, some weapon mastery. I initially started my build with a spear musket because I had a really great idea for it. Basically, with the musket, when you're high enough level, that is, you would throw down, so say you're using your spear and you're getting low on health, what you would actually do is switch to your musket, drop a trap, and then if the monster gets trapped by, gets immobilized by that trap, any damage, 100% of the damage you do to it while it's in the trap is restored to you through health. So you throw down the trap, then you use your rapid shot, and that should give you a lot of health back, if not possibly all. It looks good on paper, but, or sorry, not rapid shot, it's a firing stance. Firing stance allows you to shoot 3 or 5 bullets at with very quick reload. The 5 would be if you had one of the passive upgrades to it. So as you can see, I'm just shooting on the floor. It'd be good if I shot right at the enemy, but they're moving so fast, it might not be worth it. And this is what I like about this. So this is the boss that we're coming across, Simon the Excavator or whatever, and he actually is invincible. Like at the beginning, you know how a lot of bosses, like, they're not, and like you can get that first really great shot on him. He will actually talk. And see, this is the shattered obelisk. Unfortunately, I felt like it didn't really explain it didn't really explain what happened in here. Like, did he cause the explosion here? And why is it like this? Why has time stood still, type of thing? So what you'll notice in this boss is that he hits very hard. Like, I was trying to defend with my tank build the very first time, and one of his hard hits basically took all my stamina. I'm taking a lot of hits right now, and if I was smarter, I would sit in those sacred grounds, which I'm not. And my guy uses leather armor once again because it's a spear bow build. But if you really want to tank, obviously I think the best thing to do is to have heavy armor. So you'll notice that this boss hits hard, as I said, but he's also spawning about 3-ish adds every couple seconds. So, but the sooner you kill that the boss, then the other guys will despawn. So if you can somehow aggro the adds at the same time DPSing down the boss, that would be the best thing. So we're about halfway, and I did not notice, and we'll see from watching, I did not notice any changes in mechanics in terms of the way he attacks, although he does look bigger right there from getting to half-life. I don't know. So we talked about at the very beginning of this video about how there is a dog at the beginning of the dungeon or outside the dungeon that gives you a quest. He gives you a quest to collect bones for him, and that boss-like type of creature, not this one specifically, but the other ones in the dungeon, they drop those bones for you, and highly recommend. It's a repeatable quest. The first time you do it, you'll earn the house item. Spoiler alert, it's a dog, basically. It's a dog, that a mastiff that you can have for your house, and then as a repeatable quest is giving you tons of experience. I don't know if it changes, but it's a 4,000 experience, which could be anywhere, like depending on your actual level, that could be like anywhere between 3 to 6 bars of experience, which is really crazy. And obviously, I believe it's helping your stands as well. But the boss is nearly dead, and as you can see, I'm dodging to avoid a lot of the damage. But it does get frantic. But as you can see, there are heals, so many heals, which is why we're surviving. Okay, he's down. So there you go. Let's take a look at what we got. So it'll stop the screen and go to victory. There'll be a chest on the left-hand side, as you can see over there. And let's open up that that bag. But that concludes this video on the Amrine Dungeon Excavation. Thank you very much for joining me today. Check out the rest of my channel for other videos on New World, video games, board games, and other fun things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.